Inside this barn, we found an American muscle icon. Many people's dream car sitting and rotting away since 1984, and instantly as we started pulling it out, we found some insane surprises.
Wait, dude, come here. Did we find another cat?
Oh my god, it's disgusting.
See?
Ew.
And after detailing the whole car, since this one had no engine, we might have found a Hellcat that we could put right into it.
That's cool.
So stick around because this is one of our best videos ever.
We're back at the Mopar Manor to pick up the car that brought us here in the first place, which is a 1970 Dodge Challenger, which is the body style that everyone wanted, the one that I was the most excited about. It's kind of the reason why I didn't like the 1972 Charger, because it felt more pedestrian, where this one feels like it's got some cojones.
Really a proper muscle car. And also this one has a really cool paint scheme that I can't wait to see once we get it cleaned up. It's red, black, has some silver. It's gonna look really cool.
It feels like a sports car. It feels like what I'd want to drive in 1970. Not only is it the body style that everyone liked, but I think the paint scheme is sweet. And underneath all this, underneath all this dirt and a dead
I don't know what
Alvin
that
the
is.
Chipmunk? What is that?
I'm not sure. His tail looks like a lion.
But nonetheless, underneath dead animals and all this dirt is a sweet color scheme, a sweet paint job, and obviously a really cool car. And I'm glad we made it back in time to drag this out because this property is being sold, so we had a mad dash of getting all these cars out, and we couldn't access any of the cars through that door, so we had to start with the Plymouth Satellite that used to be here, and then the 1972 Dodge Charger that was our last video. But before we go ahead and drag this out, let's go grab the owner and just ask him a few questions.
Yeah, we gotta know, because by the plate here, this thing's been sitting for 40 years. This was last plated in 84.
1984.
Wow.
I read that book in high school.
I never read the book.
I watched the movie too. The movie's not as good as the book, but the book's really dry at some point. All right, guys, we're here with the owner of all the Mopar cars that were in this barn. First question that I have for you is, this was parked here in 1984?
Not quite that long ago. When I was working on the car and stuff, I had it down at my place, and eventually it got moved up here, you know, but it was probably within the 90s when it got moved up here.
Gotcha. It's probably still been here longer than I've been alive. I was born in 96, so sounds, based on the looks of it, it probably has been here for at least 28 years, which is how old I am. Brent's 29, by the way. His birthday just happened, so happy belated to
birthday.
Brent. So what motor does this one have?
This one had a 340 in it.
Had?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's no motor in it?
There's no motor
Is
in
it
it.
around here somewhere?
No, it's sitting at home. It needs rebuilt.
Oh, okay.
The oil pump shaft snapped on it, and it scarred the crankshaft, and it's been sitting for quite some time, you know, without being worked on.
Is that why this got parked?
That's why this got parked.
Ah, gotcha. Before you parked it, you did the paint job on it though?
Yeah, when I bought it off a friend who found it in a storage unit, the guy that owned it before bracket raced with it, and that was the engine that he had in it was the 340, which it's a matching engine as far as that goes. He bought it, did a little bit of work on it, you know, and then decided to go buy another car instead, and I bought this off of him, and it was in black primer when I think I took ownership of it, and I decided to paint it.
And this paint scheme was, I think you had mentioned earlier, something, Barracuda was painted like this?
Yeah, the Barracudas had this style of paint job where it was almost like a two-tone. I'm not sure if the red part here was a stripe that they put on the Barracudas, but that's the style I used, because I always liked the style that the Barracudas had, and I ended up painting this one kind of like the Barracuda type two-tone paint job.
It works for the car, especially with the body lines. Can't see them exactly. Well, there's a ton of dirt there, and also we're not at the right angle to actually see the paint job in its full effect.
Well, hopefully the paint comes back like it was. I mean, I put a base coat and a clear coat on it, but I never really had the chance to wet sand it and fully finish it, you know, as far as that goes. But I mean, hopefully it'll still shine, you know, like it did before.
I think so. I might not be able to remove texture just for time allotment, but
Yeah,
I will make it shiny. I can promise you that. Well, obviously we're here and we definitely want to clean this car, but if we go over and above, if I work really hard polishing this paint job and make this thing shine again, will you promise to get an engine in it and get it back on the road?
I'd like to make that promise, but it's one I don't know if I can keep.
Okay.
I mean, I like I said, I have the original engine. That's a goal of mine, but whether I'll reach that goal or not, I hate to make the promise that I couldn't keep.
I need you to promise us, Mike. Otherwise, we're going to leave. Just kidding. One way or another, this car has to come out of here, and it's got to get cleaned up for you to have any interest in potentially restoring it, or obviously moving it to somebody who has the time or desire to to take it 100%. Sounds like you guys need to drop comments below and tell Mike to restore this car, because obviously you have a lot of passion, and I think it deserves another go around with you at the helm.
Well,
thank you
we'll see
again.
what we can do.
Sounds good. Now it's time for us to go ahead and figure out how we're gonna drag it all the way from here into the trailer. But we got straps and we got Mike, and we're ready to go.
All right, Mike. Clearly these tires completely deflated, haven't been pumped up in a long time. You think they're gonna hold air?
Well, they definitely have seen better days, but we'll see. We've not had great luck with these Mopar cars, but I'm hoping that this one will.
I don't think it will, but if it does, I'll buy you a McDouble.
Oh, can you handshake on that one? Here, we'll get
I don't have a free hand, so yeah.
All right. You guys saw it, you heard it, you saw it, and you'll see if I get a McDouble out of this. Ooh, it's pumping right up.
Oh no. Well, there goes $5 out of my bank account. Mike, why is the McDouble not $1 anymore?
Inflation. Just like I'm inflating this tire. All right. Woo. Front's unlocked. The back's hold on. We're taking the cardboard with us again.
I think the tire over here is locked up.
Is that why it's pulling sideways?
Oh, wait. Dude, come here. What is that? Did we find another cat? Is that a cat?
I think it might be.
Well, pick it up, pet it. Does it meow?
You pick it up.
Oh my God, it's disgusting.
See?
Ew. Ew.
Ooh.
Oh, it is. Look at the
That's
fangs
cat.
and the
That's
claws.
cat.
Is that bad luck?
You guys let us know in the comments. Is finding dead
He
cats
is-
good or bad luck? I can't think it's that great.
He is purely mummified. That's
Yeah, it
crazy.
is.
And before we can get any further, Mike, the owner of the cars, also found another animal in the barn.
It's got big whiskers. I
It's
don't
a-
know what the heck this is.
It's a man bear pig.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
No, that's a raccoon.
Yeah.
I know a raccoon when I see one. Shout out Ralph.
Yeah.
My pet raccoon that
Yeah, because they had
Gone too
whiskers
soon.
and stuff.
Oh, jeez. Slow and steady wins the race. What the heck?
we got 3 dead batteries.
Three dead batteries.
I don't know how. We only use this is a brand new jump box.
He's in charge of charging those batteries. Is it
Whatever Mike is saying, whatever Mike is saying.
you? Or is it?
No, whatever Mike is saying right now, I don't agree with.
With the help of a 4th battery, we are back in business.
Mike, what's a keystone?
Keystone?
Yeah.
Keystone Light, it's beer.
Oh. So Pennsylvania is a beer state?
Keystone Pipeline, Keystone and
I suppose so.
yeah, it's gas, oil, beer. Whoa. The Challenger is in the shop, all safe and sound, and we're about to get started on detailing it, but first, we figured it would be a good time to mention that we are driving around picking these cars up, detailing them completely for free. So if you have an enthusiast vehicle that's in a condition like this and you want us to come and clean it, you can actually reach us at our brand new business phone number. All thanks to this video sponsor, Nextiva. But before we give our number out, we want to tell you how Nextiva is making that possible. Nextiva is made for business owners that are looking to separate their business phone line from their personal phone number, all without having to purchase a new phone or a new plan. And that allows you, the business owner, to operate your business from a separate number, but all from your personal device. Not only can you change your own number, but you can also change all your employees' and teammates' numbers as well. And instead of adding business contacts into your personal device, you can add them into Nextiva's app and keep them organized and separate from your personal device. You can then share business contacts within the app with other employees and teammates with ease. Nextiva also offers in-app conference call rooms as well as private chat rooms to keep communication between you and your team simple and easy. That way, when one of you sends me a picture of the car that you want us to feature on our channel, I can easily send it over to Brent and Mike and they can view it and get back to me with their thoughts and figure out if it's a car that we want to see on the channel. Nextiva has flexible plans for whatever stage that your business might be in, and it has scalability in mind. So as you grow, Nextiva is ready to grow right there with you. And thanks to Nextiva, here is our new business phone number so you guys can send us pictures of cars that you have that you would want us to feature on this channel. Go to trynextiva.com/WD detailing or use the link in the description below and get 20% off your first plan. Thank you to Nextiva for hooking us up with a brand new business phone number for you all to reach out to us and show us what cars that you have. But now it's time to get back to the Challenger. And first impression of the Challenger, it's by far the dirtiest Mopar car that we found in the Mopar barn. but I freaking love it. I love the body lines. I love how aggressive it is. I love the front grille, even though it looks kind of silly now because being that there's no engine in there, the suspension is completely extended because there's no weight. I think this thing is by far and away the coolest car that was in that barn.
That's for sure. I mean, it definitely has that iconic look that the Challenger brings, and then the paint job that he has on it, I can't wait to see it cleaned up because I think it's gonna look really, really cool. And also the hood. This bulged up hood just makes it look a lot more muscular, a lot more powerful, and it has a lot of presence to it. I like it a lot.
wonder if this was the original hood that came with it. Obviously, you have the sick hood pins that aren't there anymore.
They're missing, but
yeah, which is a bummer because that's the coolest way to secure a hood. Everybody knows this. But then something else that I'm noticing that we're gonna have to be careful of when we're washing it is these rust points, which is not rust free, that's for sure, but this is definitely the worst of the exterior rust.
So how this was sitting in that barn, this front end was nudged right up against the wall, and I'm thinking that the rain and stuff kind of got more moisture in this area because it's so weird to just see the front of the car have this.
Or is this a failure point on these cars? I don't know. I've never restored any of these cars outside of washing them. I know that we did a 70 or 71 Challenger in the past, and it didn't have rust here, but the floor pans were completely rusted out. So this one, believe it or not, is in much better shape than that one was, but it ain't got no engine in it.
And since this has no engine in it, and it's such a cool car to start with, what engine would you guys want to see put in a car like this? There's so many different options to do it, man.
I already know what I'd want in it. And I already know what the guys at P&P would want in it.
Okay.
Hellcat.
A Hellcat engine.
Hellcat engine. This thing would scream. But right before we get started with the wheels here, I'm wondering if he just taped these lines on and left them, or if he meant to peel them. But those are definitely not painted on, and it kind of sucks because the tape is starting to, it must have heat cycled and cracked. That's the only part of the paint job that I can find a flaw with. But aside from that, the paint job is sick. The back end is iconic. And we have our
little buddy that came along with us.
Yes, he, I don't know if it's Alvin, Theo, what was the other one? Alvin, Theo, and...
Oh, the Chipmunks?
No, Alvin, Theodore, where there's...
Simon.
Shoot, you're right, it was Simon.
Yeah.
But there's another dead animal somewhere in here that I saw that Mike didn't see yet, so I'll wait till he finds that later.
That is fossilized.
It is.
There's no give.
Goodbye.
Wait! Was that a chipmunk or was that a little, it looked like a ferret?
That's kind of what I thought, but I don't think so. I think it's a chipmunk, but
Just with the
let
hair?
us know. Yeah, I don't know.
With the hair.
It did look really slender and long like a ferret, though. Make me take it out of the trash can. If this is, actually, it might be now that we're looking at it.
What the heck? There's no, dude.
Let us know if this is a ferret.
That is
I don't know.
what the heck?
You
I
wanna
thought it was
keep
a
it?
chip. No, well,
I didn't think so.
flip them over. That is a ferret, dude.
Is this a ferret?
Kind of does look like a ferret.
There's no way a chipmunk's that long.
Let us know.
All right, so we're gonna vacuum out this engine bay. I'm gonna see how long it takes you to find our second buddy.
I usually can find them pretty quick. Is that it? Whatever this is, that's a mouse for sure.
Grab him,
Ew,
grab him,
dude.
grab him. Just don't let him bite
like
you.
a naked mole rat.
Just don't let him bite you.
Little mouse. Can always tell by the tail.
That's a full skeleton, though.
Yeah, it is. Poor guy.
Man, he's hideous.
He is hideous. Isn't he hideous?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
The amount of dead animals we found with this car. What is the dead animal counter? 1, 2,
We had
3, 4,
cat, possible ferret, mouse.
and a raccoon.
Oh, there was a raccoon in that garage too.
That's 4 dead animals, all different species. That's gotta be a record.
Yeah, that is a record, I think.
With all that being said, firstly, we're gonna vacuum all the loose debris off the Challenger before we go ahead and clean the wheels. Now, while we clean the wheels, I want to ask you guys a quick question. So something we commonly get asked in the comments a lot is what products do we use in our videos? And what are our favorite products to use on cars? And if we were to put out a full detailing line of the absolute best products that are tried and tested by us, that we went through all of the testing, showed you guys everything that we're doing, put it all on video, and we were packaging it all and sending it to you guys from us, is that process something you'd want to see us include into segments of our videos? And if a full product line is something you guys would love to see from us, leave it in the comments below. We'll be reading them. And what are some things that you would like to be available? And while we clean this gas cap, I can't help but think about all the cars from this era that we've detailed on this channel that have had the locking gas caps. And then you look at this one from 1970 and it's out there with no gas cap cover, no door, no nothing. It's the complete opposite of all the other ones that I've seen from this era. It's kind of just funny to see. Now we're going to quickly clean the engine bay. We're not going to go super crazy, but we're still going to clean the underneath of the hood and clean the bay with some degreaser and pressure wash it all off. So if Mike does decide to throw an engine back in this car, it'll at least be a clean bay to work on. Alrighty guys, so I just met up with Adam and he actually gave me the injectors for the IROC Z. While Mike and RJ are at the shop cleaning the interior of the Challenger, I stopped by my buddy's house. This is Surgeon.
Hey Brent.
He's been in past videos before and he owns Cleveland Injector Hospital. Surgeon, is it true that you can take these injectors and make them perfect again?
We're gonna try, Brent. We're gonna try, and hopefully we can get this car running for you guys, and possibly see some burnouts.
Yeah, that's the goal. So, Surgeon's actually one of the best injector guys that I know, and probably in at least Northeast Ohio and America, right?
US.
Yeah. So, if you guys have injectors that you need cleaned,
You can go to clevelandinjectorhospital.com. You can do a Google search. You can find us on Instagram, Cleveland Injector Hospital, Facebook, Cleveland Injector Hospital.
all right. So I'm gonna leave these with you.
Thank
There you go. And I'm also gonna leave a phone with you so you can film some of the cleaning for us. Oh, there's Mike. Yeah.
Mike.
No one knows this, but on that phone, I take a new picture of him every week and I change the background to something funny of him. Next time we see you, hopefully those are clean and we have some cool footage of you cleaning
Hopefully,
it.
like I'm a little bit clean too. Maybe we'll
It's
see how
alright.
it works.
All right, thanks, man.
No problem.
So first thing what we're going to do with these injectors here, we're going to check and make sure that they all look okay, which most of these look there okay. This one right here, you can see the plastic right there is broken, so hopefully there's no issues with that. This one right here, you can see where the plastic is lifting from the body, so hopefully that's not an issue as well, because what happens is when this plastic body starts lifting, they start to leak from there. So we have the injectors on the bench, and it looks like only half the injectors are working, and it seems like this one is leaking as expected. This is one of the cracked ones. So, alright guys, so a little update on Brent's injectors. The injectors that he brought us were bad, beyond repair. We ended up upgrading his injectors. So we're going to deliver Brent and the guys at WD a set of these injectors. They don't know yet, but these will be going back into the car, and then they should be able to get it started and hopefully running well. Stay tuned.
So out of the 3 Mopar vehicles we got, the Satellite, the Charger, and now this Challenger, I will have to say this one is definitely the worst. It's so filthy in here that I decided to remove the seats and not do all my talking point from the inside of the car because it's just that bad. As you can see, the headliner is destroyed, a bunch of stuff falling down. There was all kinds of rodents living in here. It doesn't smell that bad because it's really dry, but I can tell as soon as we get some moisture into this interior, it's gonna be pretty gross. But one thing I will say about this Challenger that I like a lot more than the other 2 Mopar cars we worked with, this door panel and the dashboard. I think it's a much cleaner design. Now, all 3 cars have utilized the same design for the center console, which I don't have too much of a problem with, but it's not too flashy. But this back seat looks really good, and hopefully it's gonna clean up really nice. And that's probably where I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna pull that out right now.
Having technical difficulties here. Maybe I'll try that side first. I'm also worried about this leather. If you can hear it, it's creaking and cracking as I press on it because it's so dry. So I don't really want to press too hard on it and damage it. So I'm just trying to do this carefully. Come on. A lot of the stuff that you don't see us do on a regular basis is dealing with issues like this, bolts that won't come undone, stripping things, doors that won't open, windows that won't open, trunks that won't open, all kinds of stuff. And it's just a little bit worse when you're wearing a mask stuck in a car like this doing this. The same thing. There we go. All right. That's what I thought. Look at that, Brent. Oh, that's so gross. Huge nest. And this is exactly why we have to wear these, because this is really disgusting, nasty stuff.
So now we're gonna start by getting all of this nest removed. And again, like Mike said, you have to wear protection. If any of you guys watching at home are working on barn find cars. But then we're gonna go ahead and vacuum out the interior. And when we started vacuuming out underneath the rear seat, we revealed a pretty big hole in the body.
All right, guys, we found a bunch of these little bugs in this car, and I don't know what the heck these are. Please let us know if bugs like this are kind of dangerous or something. Look, there's a bunch of them in here. I've never seen whatever the heck these are, so please let us know that we're aware in the future of what to do with these little guys. They're gross looking.
So I just took over for Mike while he was vacuuming really quickly because I wanted to give him a break. And while I was vacuuming this side of the car, I looked up and I noticed something that I don't think we've seen in any of the cars we've ever detailed before. So Mike, are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Watch. Oh. Okay. I'll do it on that side too. I'm gonna do it over here too, and we'll see what falls out. Ready? Oh. Looks like mice made their way up there. Check it out, there's a hole up there. I think they were eating that away and made a nest up top too. This is probably one of the worst cars we've ever done. Oh, wait, listen to this. There's a whole nest up there. I don't know what we should do.
So we've devised a plan to try and remove all the acorns without destroying the headliner. I really don't want to take it down the proper way, and I really don't want to cut it down either. Mike, the owner, will have to figure out what he wants to do with it. So we're just going to clean it to the best of our ability and then allow him to make that decision for himself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this leaf blower and I'm going to put it up to the hole and try and blow all the nuts out the other hole. And then Mike is going to try and catch them with the vacuum. And it's going to work flawlessly. Plan B.
And while we go ahead and get that vacuumed up again, we're going to take care of the rest of the interior, starting with the seats. And unfortunately, when we took the seat covers off, they were very, very badly ripped. That's just another thing added to the list on this car that has to be repaired. And at this point, I don't know if this car is better to be a parts car or something that should be back on the road. I'll let you guys decide.
All right, guys, we are here with the guys from Power and Performance, Tim and Adam, to ask a couple questions about the car, get some info, and learn more about the 70 Challenger. The first thing that I did do was send over the fender tag, or what do you call it?
Fender tag, yep.
Fender tag over to you so you could decode the VIN and tell us if this was a special edition or if it was a low production car or if it was one of the ones that, you know, I know 70 is a year that everyone wants, but was it, you know, the one that everyone really, really wants?
No, this isn't the one that everyone really wants because it did not have a Hemi. You sent me the fender tag, but all I needed to do is see the 4th digit of the VIN to know that it was not a Hemi car. The super desirable 1970 Challenger is going to be the Hemi one. This is not a Hemi one. This came with a 340 from the factory. It was not an RT either. Those are the desirable 1970s and 71s, or the Hemi cars. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, WD family, because, you know, there's some experts out there. I believe that the 2-door hardtop in 70 was the most produced car. As far as I can tell, it's not special, other than maybe it has some nostalgia. Maybe it's special to the owner. And it's special because it is a pony car from the last era of pony cars before they disappeared.
Is this the Hemi hood? Was this hood swapped out? Is this the more aggressive hood?
This is the RT hood.
I think it's an RT hood. I don't know if there's a way to know if it's like original or anything like that. It looks like it's an original hood, but I believe it's an RT hood on a non-RT car.
It was spec'd with the same exact paint that's on the rest of the car. I didn't realize how bad this paint was when I was polishing it. I mean, I knew it was bad, but I didn't realize the checking and crow's feet underneath all the clear.
I mean, that kind of doesn't matter once you get to this rot and rust anyway.
Yeah, that was one other question I had. Is this a very common failure point for these as far as rust goes?
Yeah, so there's like the inner headlight bucket, and where this all kind of comes together creates a small crevice in here where anything like salt, spray off the tire, because it's all open internally, you can pretty much get to that from the wheel well. So anything coming off that tire kind of shoots up and wants to head up into this zone, and it gets stuck and it gets ugly, obviously.
So the last question that I have is, what engine would be the one that you would swap into this?
These are super popular for Gen 3 Hemi swaps. There's a ton of companies that make suspensions and, you know, frame stiffening kits and everything that allow you to take modern 400 plus horsepower and put it right in these things. And we actually have some of those here, and if you want to go take a look at them, we could do that right now.
Let's do it. Yeah, as we're walking through here, it seems like you guys have tons of parts outside of engines for cars like these. Could we swap in brand new Hellcat seats?
Anything can be done with the right amount of time and money. You should know this by now. But yes, absolutely, those could be swapped in.
Reasonably?
Well,
I've done a couple sets.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
So he's done a
Yes,
couple
I've
sets.
actually put a couple of those modern Charger Challenger seats in both the E-body and B-body cars. I've even put a set of ATS-V Cadillac seats into a B-body Charger. So you can just do about anything.
If you've been watching, you know that because we already looked at that 69 Charger.
Yes, we did.
Tim's keeping
2 or 3
tabs.
times, yeah. I watch all the videos multiple times.
Brent, we can put these on there, but maybe change this one out to the Demon, the red eye, or whatever it is.
They match in color already.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, a little bit shorter as far as the fenders that are on that one, so you guys could fab that.
Yeah, Adam could.
Yeah, make it happen.
Ooh, now we need a Hellcat hood.
Okay, I like it.
We could piece this whole thing together.
Those sell immediately.
Really?
Immediately.
Why?
Because everybody
Everyone
wants
puts
one
them
for
on
their
the scat packs
their
and stuff?
They're
V6.
V6 cars, yeah.
Gotcha.
We actually have a 70 Challenger body here that we've converted into a 71. And anything that was in decent shape, we put into this car. So this is a project that's in process. This one is just in progress, and we'll get back to it hopefully when we get an opening.
It seems like they all come with flat tires though.
It's common.
Yeah. All right, here's a Charger. That was a bit cooler than the one that we brought you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's a 69 right there too.
Dang.
Nothing. Hold on. Yeah, and there's a Challenger on the lift too.
Oh,
That we
sweet.
could go look at.
So we could put this one right into that car. It bolts right up.
Yeah, with a couple minor modifications.
Minor seems like a loaded term.
I mean, you're putting 700 horsepower minimum, let alone any modifications you make to this in an old 70s car. You're gonna want brakes that are gonna be able to handle stopping this much horsepower, and those drum brakes or even those old 60s, 70s disc front brakes are not gonna be able to handle that. Getting everything to fit, typically you have to do a tunnel to fit the modern transmission. Getting all this stuff in there, you're going from a carburetor to EFI, everything to wire it up and fire it up. You'll have to put into that car or modify.
So it's a plug and play.
Plug, cut, weld,
Fab.
paint.
So you guys test these before you send them out, I presume?
Absolutely. We test them in the car. Doesn't matter where the customer is, we're going to ship it around the globe, and we send it in a manner that allows them to start it when they receive it.
How does that work?
Check it out, come here. Everything that has been matched in the car that needs to communicate for this engine to start is on this pallet. meaning that you just give it
ECU's
power.
hooked up and oh, the button works?
The button
Can
works.
I hit it?
Well, let's see.
That's cool. Wow, look at that. Holy smokes. That's sweet. That's really cool. Now I see why it's all set up. I mean, that's a brilliant way to send these.
We have customers, again, going back to that Challenger, use stuff like this in their Challenger dash or buy a dash out of a late model Challenger Hellcat and put the cluster in it, put the nav in it, put the controls in it. Since you have the whole harness, you can use the heater box from it, you can use all the electronics from it, and it would be perfect for a car like that.
Hey, what do you think of that, Brent? You know what that is? No. You don't know what that is?
That's the coolest truck ever built.
It's a Roadster.
That's a Corvette truck, right? It's got a LS.
Well, so some of them came with aluminum block 5.3s, and then the later years, I believe like 05 or 06, they went to the 6-liter LS2, which was the same as the Corvette, and some of them you could actually get in a 6-speed stick.
This is a 5.3. It's modest horsepower, and it's not a truck, it's a Roadster.
It's a truck. It's got a truck bed.
It's a super sport Roadster.
It's a convertible
Sound
truck.
off in the comments. It is a super sport Roadster. Yeah, and it isn't really a Corvette because it's got a full frame.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, I was ready for you guys to get in a fight. I got my money on
we're not
Adam because look at those calves. That dude's gonna kick you in the next year. Yeah, this one looks like it was in a bit of a fender bender.
This one rolled over, and this is exactly how we like them. We don't care about how the body panels look. We care about the health of the driveline, and this is good. This isn't a very bad hit.
He had a nice intake though.
Yeah. So this is what we care about. I mean, obviously we're gonna park the car and get everything we can out of it, but engine trans is the reason we buy them. And you know, it's a tragedy that this happened, but this driveline is going to go on and live in something probably much like that Challenger we just looked at. Cool. And that's the beauty. It's the circle of life when it comes to these cars. For every one that gets wrecked, another one gets saved.
Well, we've taken a look at a ton of cool cars, some in worse condition than others, but we haven't asked you guys about the car that we brought you a couple weeks back, which was a 1985 Camaro IROC Z that we pulled out of a mud pit in West Virginia and are trying to rebuild with the help of Adam, but we've run into some trouble, but I think we're very close, and Adam has an update for us.
We went ahead and removed all the injectors, sent them to our friends over at Cleveland Injector Hospital. He looked at them, and the news that I got were 3 of them were completely dead, and a couple more weren't barely working, which is surprising that the car ran as well as it did. So those injectors weren't usable at all. Cleveland Injector Hospital hooked us up with a new set of injectors. I installed those in the car, turned the key to give it fuel pressure after installing a new fuel filter, and the leak that caused the fire originally surfaced again. It just squirted fuel out the back of the fuel pressure regulator, right on the distributor, right on that passenger side. And this is something I've been keeping a close eye on and has not happened yet until yesterday. I went ahead and we're getting a new fuel pressure regulator. We're gonna put that in, get the car back together, and we'll be back on track for doing hopefully our nice burnout in that car.
So history hasn't repeated itself yet? It hasn't?
No fire.
We're not gonna let that happen.
Well, that's good. Guys, if you could help get Cleveland Power and Performance up to 20,000 subscribers. They are super close. They give us a ton of information and help with all these cars that we work on. So if you could, please go give them a subscription and a like, help them reach 20,000. These guys are fantastic. We cannot do what we do without them, and we cannot do what we do without you guys either. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up to help more people reach it, and hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and we will see you next week.